Good morning, Zimbabwe. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to BST Electronic Surgery. What we have today on a Sunday, we have HP laptop. It's booked in as no power. It's the HP 250 G1 dual core. That's the model of this laptop. It's an old version of laptop. And the charger is already plugged, so let's check the charger voltage. I think that's the first step. And look on the multimeter, 19.6. so our charger is okay. When we plug in our charger, let's plug in our charger plugged. We can see we have the white light, flashing light, and when we try to power on the laptop, nothing happens, just dead. You can see here we do have switch. I'm pressing 0 and our light is still flashing. So that's what we have to fix. So what can we conclude here? Let's take off the battery. What can we conclude here? According to this kind of fault, if we have light, probably our 19 volts power rail is present and our 3.3 volts is present, but for some reasons our laptop is not coming on. But we can check. Let's check. That's the hard drive. Let's check the Wi-Fi card. Wi-Fi card is out. Let's take out the CD drive. CD drive's out. Let's take out all the screws. Let's take out all the screws quickly and try to find out what's the problem with this one. Those are some kind of laptops which we are still using, which are being used by the majority in our country. But to some country, this is now history, thing of the past. But what we can do, we are still developing, so we have to deal with anything that is on the ground. So let's take out the keyboard. Let's take out the keyboard. We have some few clips here. Our keyboard is out. Yeah, this laptop has got a lot of dust inside. I don't have access to switch connector, but here we do have a BIOS chip. So I'll plug the charger and check for 3.3 on the last pin of the BIOS chip to see if we do have any voltage. We still have flashing light. Okay, I just want to have assurance of certain things. I'll go straight on the BIOS chip, check on the test meter 3.39. So if our 3.3 volts is present, it means that our 19 volts is also present. So the condition for the laptop to start is present, but the laptop is not turning on. Do we have dead microcontroller? What do you think is the problem here? Any idea? Maybe we do have a dead microcontroller, but we can check. We can check. Let's take the top cover out, disconnecting the mouse pad, and yes, there's a lot of dust inside this laptop. Lot of dust, trust me. Top cover out. Okay. Look how dirty is the board. It's very dirty. So let's clean this board quickly. Let's clean this board quickly. Looks better now. So I'll move my attention on, first I want to check the let's plug the charger and let's check some voltages. First let's check for 19 volts on those ceramic capacitors. Let's check 0, 0, 3.3. Yeah, that's so fun. 19, 0, on the input of the first MOSFET. Don't worry, I'll show you on a microscope. If we check, we do have 19 volts. What does that mean? It means my charger is driving the power, the 19 volts from the charging port to this first MOSFET. It means that my charging port is right. But on the output, we have 0.85. But for some reasons, we do have 3.3, but our 19 volts is missing. So where is this 3.3 coming from? Any idea? Any idea where this 3.3 volts is coming from? I'm trying to power on the laptop with a tweezer. No, it's not working. First, what I want to do on this one, let's take out everything. Let's take out everything. Let's unplug the charger. Let's take out the motherboard out totally. Let's check. Yeah, that should be another motherboard lessons, you know. We do have 3.3, but our 19 volts is not present. So my question is, where is this 3.3 coming from? If you do not have voltage on the input, where is this voltage coming from? Do you have a different configuration on this one? Well, what I want is the motherboard. I don't even need this laptop at the moment. Let's clean it if we can. So that's our motherboard. And what we have on this motherboard, that's the charging port. You can see the charging port here. We have coils. All these coils, they represent power supplies. Coils here, coil, and some MOSFETs. That's the BIOS battery. That's the chipset PCH. Here we do have a fan, and under the heatsink we have a processor, and it's that kind of processor with the graphics inside. Yes, it is. And on the other side we have ITE. Yeah, that's our controller. And on top we do have the BIOS chip. That's the BIOS chip. And we checked on the pin number 8, that's the VCC pin, and there was 8 volts there. There was 3.3 volts there. So checking on the current sensor here, after the 2 MOSFETs, we don't have any voltage. So let's try to follow our 19 volts power rail. Let's try to follow. Let's put our multimeter on BP mode. From the plus of the charging port, and try to follow where our 19 volts is going. We have an inductor, look 00. On the output of this inductor, probably it's going on the other side of the board, but we can check 00 is coming to this MOSFET, and if we check to ground, it's not shorted to ground. On the output of the first MOSFET, comparing to ground, there's no short. Obvious is going to the second MOSFET, check 00. On the output, compared to ground, there's no short. After the second MOSFET, we have a current sensor. So let's go under microscope 1 second and try to check together. Let's do it under microscope. Okay. Those are the pins for the charging port. You can see these pins. After the pins, we have this inductor, whatever it is, on the plus. So our 19 volts is passing from this thing, and if we check from this thing, it's going on the other side of the board. On the other side of the board, what we have this MOSFET. That's our first MOSFET. 4 pins together. That's the drain. 3 pins together, source and 1 pin which is the gate. From the first MOSFET, it's going through the second MOSFET, 3 pins together, source, 1 pins gate which is going to maybe to the charging IC. After that, we have 4 pins together, that is the drain, and they are going straight to this 10 ohms current sensor, and from this point our voltage is going everywhere. So let's plug the charger and check some voltage again. Charger plugged. Charger plugged. We have the charging light, DC. Let's check some voltages there. I think we can. One second. So checking on the charging port, check on the test meter. We do have 19. After the charging port, let's go on the first MOSFET. Check 19.6. On the output of the first MOSFET, check 0.89. So from this point we have a problem. So our first MOSFET is not driving 19 volts from the drain to source. So can be a dead MOSFET, can be, but let's unplug the charger. Let's come with the 19 volts after the current sensor and see how much current is being drawn by our body. I think that's a good idea, just to check if we do have any short there. So let's go straight. Check, it's not taking even any current. If I compare it to ground, our current limit is 4.3 amps. If we go on the current sensor, it's not taking any power, so we don't have any short. So if you want to take time either to replace the MOSFET, or you are going to take a lot of time maybe to look for some signals, to check if we do have voltage on the gate, things like that, you can do it if you have time, trying to trace the problem. But on my side, I don't have too much time, so it's good just to bypass the first MOSFET and see if that can solve the problem, or it's just a good idea just to figure out why we don't have 19 volts. So let's do it. Let's do it. I'll show you what I've done. I'll show you 1 second. Let's do it quickly. That should be quick. Whatever we are doing here must be very quick. That should be quick. Any nice wire to bridge. I need a nice bridge here. Nice bridge. Nice bridge for this job. Just a small nice, okay. That should be okay. That should be okay. All what I want to do is to put a nice bridge there, because that Mosfet, for some reasons, is not driving 19 volts. But whatever fault is there, I don't care. Whatever fault which is there, I don't even mind. I will show you what I've done. I'll show you 1 second. Where's my wire which I want to bridge? No, I'm getting old. I can't even see the wire anymore. Okay, let's do it. And see if that can solve the problem. Let's do it. Quickly. Maybe you have time just to spend trying to trace why you don't have 19 volts on the output of the first Mosfet, or why my first Mosfet is not driving the power. But myself personally, I don't have time, because I have to move on to the next job. So whatever I have to do here must be very okay. So that's what we have done. I took the bridge from the input of the charging port 19. I bypassed the first MOSFET and came here. So we are ready to test our motherboard. We are ready to test. I just want to insulate that area with the glue just to prevent short.